So welcome back to the Blue Diamond Tribe. I'm Tam Randalls, Council of Love teacher, and joining me as co-creator of these moon celebrations is Simone Berner. And so thank you so much for being here, for your time, your energy to join us this day. And I just want to share from the Divine Mother's words and speaking to coming together as one tribe of all tribes. We come together to harmonize, to find and forge a new path, to form cooperative units to build Nova Earth, anchor cities of light, to form new communities of harmony, unity, and love. We come together to form a human council of love. So yes, as we said, happy full moon. This is a pink full moon, which not because the moon's going to be physically pink, which it was during the eclipse, but because this is a time of pink, at least in the northern hemisphere, pink blossoming trees and flowers of springtime, and also a time now of Easter and rebirth and resurrections. So a couple of things. It's always said about working with the Council of Love is one, there's always more, and that life will never be the same as before. And I certainly know that to be true. And we've kind of throughout these celebrations have kind of observed that. We've had two new moon celebrations, and we place intentions on the new moon, and then we experience manifestation and fruition on the full moon. And Simone and I in this process have certainly been experiencing that. And so we thought that it just seemed natural to come together, some of our experiences, share some of our experiences and insights and awarenesses. So today, Simone is going to be sharing some of her experiences with the cosmic clock and astrology. But first, she's going to guide us in a meditation, and then she will share her experiences with the cosmic clock and astrology. So, welcome, Simone.
Thank you, Tam. And yeah, thank you really everyone for being here. And I received a meditation as I began to set my intention for this full moon celebration meditation. It came in naturally, and then it was just really a process. Going through all different kind of things and a refinement process. And I really didn't know what it would going to be at the end, but it all started to make more sense along the way. It was just, receiving and then allowing one step at a time to present. And I hope really that at the end things make sense also to you in a way. And it certainly is helpful for me to go through this process with you. And thank you for that, for being here. And I really hope it's going to be a joyful experience for you as well. So with that, I would like to invite us all to go into meditation. And for that, of course, close our eyes and take some deep breaths. So close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. And listen to the sound of the air as it flows in. And listen to the sound of the air as it flows out. With every in-breath, see your heart expanding and become really big. And with every out-breath, it goes back to normal size. Breathe in, heart goes big. And breathe out, heart goes back to normal size. Good. Now let us go deeper and bring all of your awareness into your heart. Feel as if you are head to toe inside of your heart and breathe. Now that you are fully in your heart, you lay down and relax, and you feel that vibration of love, and you feel yourself adjusting even more fully to love. Feel the love vibrate through every cell of your body, your organs, your brain, and you let go, and you sink deeper. You sink into the bottom of your heart, and you effortlessly, naturally sink into still point. You sink into the essence of love. You realize you are now equal height with your pinprick of light as you now stand right in front of it. You think to yourself, oh my God, look at this beautiful light. Allow yourself to feel the love and allow yourself to admire your light. Go closer and feel the caress of that light, like gentle rays of sunlight touching your face in the morning. And it feels so good, you go even closer. You feel safe. You feel more than safe. You feel loved. And you want to go and explore. And so you unfurl your wings and you fly through that pinprick and into an infinite ocean of light. Oh my God, this ocean of light feels so wonderful. You never have felt anything like it before. Just wonderful. And you can feel it with all of your senses. As you fly through the ocean of light, you also feel the ocean of light flow through you. And you feel taken care of as you simply, naturally continue to breathe in and out. You are free to simply be. And you breathe and you let go. After a while, you notice a tingling sensation around your feet. And as you look down, you see you are standing with your feet in this beautiful crystalline liquid light water. You wonder, where am I? And as you lift your head, you see in the near distance a beautiful beach with sparkling sand and vibrant green palm trees. And you think, wow, and let's go. Instantly, you find yourself transported to that beach. The sparkling sand is now right beneath you. Instinctively, you look at your hands because you know it was you. You have manifested this instant transportation. But how? Now you realize it is this place, it is this planet, and it is the you that is at home here. And you realize you are on Electra, planet of creation, and you have just integrated here as your creator aspect. Wow. And you begin to remember this place and how much you love it. You stepped into the light of your soul, so of course you found your way home. You feel your inner light now centering also in your throat, and you open your lips and you say, thank you, and I love you. I love you. I love you forever. With this, the brilliant shimmering beaches of Electra slowly begin to fade away from your awareness. You take another deep breath, and as you let go of this place, you feel your heart full of love. Peacefully, you drift through time and space in complete trust. You do not know what is next, but you feel no fear, only love, only trust, and you breathe. And you feel even more peaceful. After a while, you find yourself high above in space, looking down at your beloved planet Gaia, Earth, this beautiful planet of blue. Oh, how much you love her, how much you have always loved her. How could I ever forget? Gazing at your beloved planet Earth with your heart full of love, you remember, this feels actually familiar. Do I have a déjà vu? Have I experienced this before? Oh my God, yes, of course. Every time you left your body in one of your incarnations, you emerged, you awakened to your true self. And every time you found yourself right here with the same familiar lookout down at your beloved Earth. Dear heart, you have pierced the veil so many times, and you have anchored the love on planet so many times, because you are love. That's what you did every single time. You came as love. You anchored the love. You pierced the veil every time upon your return to the higher perspective and upon your remembrance of your state and being of love. And now you just did it again. You are here. We are here in space. Your human body fully intact. Your heart, mind, soul, all of you has firmly anchored in the 13th octave long ago. You and we have been prepared for this moment. And so with me, from this higher perspective together, let us embrace Gaia. Let's embrace her and you with her, and you on her throughout all time, all places. Feel the love, flow the light. Choose your highest, most loving perspective and anchor it into your eternal heart. Flood the planet with your unconditional love of self, of earth, and of each other. We are one, and we are all in this together. If past, present, or future, love is the only true story, and you have written it long ago, and you are writing it right now. Write love in capital letters over the globe. And take out your Akashic records. And even though love has always been the title of that book, today you renew these letters. Let the light flow out of your index finger as you touch the surface of your precious sacred book of life. Wholeheartedly, you write love, and then you speak with your heart, with your mouth, with every cell of your physical body. You speak the words, I am love, and breathe. Breathe the love up from your heart and breathe the light up from your heart, up through your throat and into your beautiful brain. See, your synapses are pure highways of love light intelligence, cosmic fibers, beautiful, sacred neural patterns in complete harmony with the universe. Hear the echo of your words, your eternal truth, I am love, sounding through your cosmic human brain. Look at this most beautiful, incredible, sacred light architecture right inside your head. Now also feel and know the harmony, the love between and the coherence of your heart and your mind, coherent waves and patterns creating the symphony of love inside of you, and your soul dances along, swinging, flowing, rejoicing. Now start breathing your aliveness into this, your vibrant life force right from the base of your spine. Breathe it up, your stem cells awakening, knowing it is time. This is your physical, cosmic awakening in form, in divine time. Breathe up from the base of your spine, those pure waves of energy. Weave them through your 13 chakras, one by one, all the way up, all the way through. Your heart is overflowing with love. And once again, from your sacred lookout, you gaze at the planet. And now you see it. Nova Earth, right in front of you. Nova Earth, birthplace of your cosmic self in human form. Nova Earth, peaceful planet of love, and you breathe this huge sigh of relief. It is real. Now extend your love from here and to the planet and into the year 2025 and into your house and into your room and into you and into your beautiful pink prick of light right in the center of your heart. And you see and feel yourself inside of this chrysalis of light that we have just created. And from inside, you look at the walls of your chrysalis and you read and you know your time of emergence is near. And upon this joyful realization, your butterfly you has just experienced its very first heartbeat. Ignition. Congratulations, my love. You are complete. Your future is here. All pathways lead to love, and all pathways come from love. You are the infinity of love. Take a few more breaths, and then you come back. Open your eyes when you're ready. So I hope you all had a nice multi-dimensional experience.
Thank you.
And well, this brings me then to the cosmic clock, because the cosmic clock is an ancient astrology system that has been brought to Earth by the original creator race. And I have a connection with that. And in order for me to step forward and step into the light and talk about it with you, I had to go through quite some clearings and, you know, this integration of the creator aspect. And yeah, but I'm happy to talk about it, to share a little bit about what that is. And it's basically, well, there was a book from Elizabeth Clare Prophet, and she channeled the Divine Mother, and she brought forth this book, and it's called Understand the Cycles of the Cosmic Clock. And that book was actually, well, it was in the language of Elizabeth Clare Prophet and, you know, more of the New Age things. But my astrology teacher, Stephanie Azaria, she took that material and made it actually usable in a very positive, very loving way. And she created something that helps us to see and create also the shift from separation to unity, heart consciousness. And I think we all are familiar that, everything that we see out there, be it on the planet or in the stars, is actually a reflection of who we are and of our own consciousness. And astrology and the cosmic clock astrology, or also cosmic consciousness astrology, um, is a way in which we become aware, first of all, of our own level of consciousness. And the moment we become aware, we can also, take shifts. This is our free will. We can choose to change, but first of all, we need to become aware, and that is not always easy. Sometimes we're not even aware of our deepest belief systems, and because we have really been influenced in so many ways, consciously, unconsciously, and this cosmic clock tool um, is there to help us, and it reveals certain cycles that is not really typical to astrology in that kind of way. And um, it's because, the perspective here is that there is a certain rhythm to all life that governs both the spiritual and the material universes. And this rhythm, it is there with or without our conscious participation or realization. But when we start to look at these cycles and we become aware of it, this of course increases then our ability to align, and it allows us to experience that we actually exist in complete harmony with everything and with the universe. So, of course, this is the pathway of human evolution on Earth, that we shift so that really our experience here on Earth becomes that beautiful, wonderful experience that we are in harmony with everything. And in a way, we really have to evolve, because life on Earth no longer makes sense unless we begin to have this experience of harmony, right? So, yeah, thankfully, we evolve. um, I myself have come into contact with the cosmic clock astrology in 2015. I was always kind of interested in astrology, but never felt like really going into that until I came into contact with that, because it kind of felt familiar. I kind of knew it. And so, yeah, I was fascinated, and I used to work with it mainly for myself. And as I said before, um, it was brought to us by the original creator race, and it is divine design. And there has been confirmation also with from the Divine Mother and channelings with Linda, um, confirming that I have this connection and that it is divine design, and also that my physical body is actually in complete alignment with the cosmic clock. And yeah, but really stepping forward with this and working with this, talking about it with others, is really something that has brought me to the side, to this moment of, having to integrate my creator aspect. And that when that first happened, I was also in a session with Tam, when I felt that blue energy enter, and then my body started shaking, and I had those visions of painful past life trauma of having been burned at the stake. And so stepping into the light, returning home to Electra, where I derived those sacred divine gifts, for which I then have been punished. We have those past life traumas that we kind of, sometimes have to work or clear through in order to transform, and fully integrate, and then live these qualities and these gifts in a really joyful way, and so that we are no longer really afraid of our own spiritual power, also in a way. And so, yeah, as I said also before, doing this today with you is really helpful for me in that process of transforming that experience. And yep, here we are. And now I'm going to show you what the cosmic clock actually looks like. I'm going to open my PowerPoint presentation. Look. Wait, I first have to do screen sharing, right? Can you see my screen? No, right. Um, let's see. Can you see it now?
Yes. Hmm.
Okay. Great. So what we look at here is one of the visuals that shows the cosmic clock. And as you can see, it has the astrological signs there, and it is like a clock. You have here, you have the 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Everything starts at 12 o'clock and goes clockwise, and you have the 13 in the center. And if you compare that for a second with the classical astrology, which like this is like a map of the classic astrology. Here we have everything starts at the horizontal line, and we do not have hours like in the clock, but there are houses, and everything goes counterclockwise. So it starts here with house number 1 and Aries and Mars, and everything goes counterclockwise. Now, what the cosmic clock does, it takes your birth chart, everything in your birth chart stays the same, but we just look at it in a different way. We use the cosmic clock as a kind of overlay to put it over that, and that shifts our perspective, and we start to see new things, and that helps us to align and shift our consciousness. And it's pretty cool, actually. And so with the cosmic clock, the idea is also that we remember that we are not just, humans. Our life doesn't start the moment we come into human form. It doesn't start at the horizontal experience of life, where we interact with the world, the physical experience. We are not just humans. We are actually also, these spiritual beings in human form. And the idea is at first that you think, you start actually as your higher self before you become human. You are your higher self, and you yourself formulate your own divine plan in alignment with the divine plan before you come to Earth. And so this is actually how you can think of it, and why the cosmic clock starts here at the vertical axis, because this is your alignment with your higher self, right? And you come in with your higher plan, and you also shift to the perspective that you also laid out in a way the experiences in your life, so that then helps you to, you know, not experience life in a victim kind of way. Oh my God, life is happening to me, but more like, everything is happening for us. And yeah, and it is a very beautiful shift in perspective. And it's also, these cycles, there are cycles as we go around the clock. It's like also saying when we come in on our birthday, we start a cycle at 12 o'clock, and then we move around the clock clockwise. And one of those cycles is that every year in your life you go through one of the hours with a certain specific theme. Where's my cursor? Here. So, like, let's say you are born, and then the first year of your life, the main focus is on the 12 o'clock, and the second year the main focus is on 1 o'clock. and so forth. And so we complete one big cycle every 12 years, but we also go like every month. The when your birthday is, let's say today, April 13, then from April 13 to May 12, you move through the 12 o'clock. The next month you move through the 1 o'clock until you come back to your birthday again. And it's also that these cycles are not only cycles, but they are spirals. And the thing about the clockwise spiral is also that the clockwise spiral is the spiral that spirals back into the point of origin. And the counterclockwise spiral spirals out from your origin, kind of away. Or also, yes, of course, down, it brings us down into the physical, but also, we also, it's a time on earth where we return to love and to our original truth of being the love. So we align with that perspective through this alignment with the clockwise spiral. And the more we do adjust in that way and shift our perspective, it brings our divine and our human not only into balance, but also really helps to integrate our divinity in form. And through that, we have a whole new experience in life. And in general, the cosmic clock astrology and cosmic consciousness astrology is a much more loving language than we might know about astrology. It's everything shift the entire signs become a more loving meaning, the planets, everything is more seen in a positive, loving light. And so our perception shifts of the zodiac signs, the planets, the relationships between the planets, what all of that means inside of our sacred divine design template that the birth chart actually is. And a way in which I experienced is, for example, we look back at events in our life and start to see it in a completely different way and think, oh my God, yeah, that makes total sense now. And we see it in a new light. But then after we shift and integrate more of that higher consciousness, it also is that we then begin to have and attract more positive experiences because we already have shifted to a higher level of consciousness. And that, of course, means we shift our own frequency and then we attract more loving experiences into our life. And and so we evolve and we integrate our own light and our own love. And to me personally, it's really also this heartfelt intent to help shift consciousness to a more loving perspective. And I think that it is a unified template that we can all work with because we all share this beautiful same location in the solar system and in the universe. We all live on this beautiful planet Earth, and we have these constellations. We all are influenced by the planets and the stars around us, but not only influenced, of course, we are one with them, but the way we look at it and this template, we all carry all the archetypes and all the qualities. You can also think of it as 12 different qualities of consciousness. We all have them, but we laid them out in a unique kind of way through our own unique birth charts. We chose our place of birth and our time of birth, and so this, we chose our divine design to be reflected in that way. And when we look at it, there's so much that we have in common. We all work with that same template. It has a unifying effect on us. And also, when we shift to more loving perspective, everything brings us also more inward to the center where the 13 is. we all know about the upward spiral that we travel with Archangel Gabriel that brings us into the 13th octave. And the more we integrate that, we also feel like it brings us more and more into the center of ourself. Like we integrate our human and our divine on the vertical axis, and our you and me experience, how we interact with the world. We feel more love and connectedness here, and everything brings us more into to the center of the embodiment of the 13th octave in human form. And the counter clockwise or more fear-based perspective actually brings us more away from the center and distracts us more. And yeah, so we are all on our way to find those ways to come more into the center of who we really are. And choosing to work with the cosmic clock is also like declaring our willingness to believe differently, to think differently, to see and to hear love. And you will do, and we are doing that, right? And I will give you an example of the shift in consciousness by telling you something about the shift in consciousness around the archetype and energy and planet Mars, because I think this is really, really pivotal. Mars, as you may know, has been known or often called the planet of war, Lord of War, God of War. He has been given this identity by the Romans when they needed a god of war on their side, and but it has actually been like you really distorted the true meaning of Mars. And so when we look what is underneath this false identity, and underneath this mask, it reveals a very different story. And I want to share that with you. Mars has always been considered the son of Juno, the goddess Juno, and sometimes as the son of Juno and Jupiter. But there are other mythologies and other stories. One of them is like saying that Mars has only been the son of Juno, and it was because Juno wanted to restore the balance on the planet, and so she sought the advice of the goddess Flora on how to give birth without a man, and Flora obtained her magic flower, touched Juno's belly, and impregnated her. And one of the perspectives is then that Mars, therefore, has been born of Juno, who's all about unity consciousness, and a flower. And a flower, of course, is from the earth. So he has always been of the earth, and he has been an agricultural guardian who directs his energy toward creating conditions that allow crops to grow and make for a more comfortable physical experience. I mean, now feel into the difference here, the shift in energy when we think of Mars as the god of war, or I mean, he's here to help us really to plant seeds and to grow them and to grow and to thrive. I mean, what a different story it is, right? And since we all carry Mars energies and this archetype within us, and when we shift that understanding of who we are within a side of us, of course, we're also going to have a much more loving experience of Earth, and we feel like, wow, Earth is actually a place for me to live and to thrive, and everything is here and everything supports me, and Mars is on my side. These energies are really helping me, supporting me, and Mars is also from the cosmic consciousness perspective, the archetype of right action, and action born of the heart is right action. And that has also always been the truth of the true Mars archetype. Mars disposes Aries, that's the sign of the divine spark of creation. He's also called the great activator. And he has domain over the physical, and by extension, he expresses his archetypes through all your energy and action. And since the physical experience is earthy, the earth element is always unequivocally feminine. It's more that Mars is like the white dot inside of the black side of the yin and yang symbol. He's very fond of earth, and he's of the earth, and he's a very loving, um, mm, yes, male type of energy, but really part of the feminine more. And Mercury becomes more of the true male archetype, and and he has a really great big task to do in clearing up eons of confusion about what the male energy actually is. So, in their true expression and identity, Mercury and Mars represent the new mind and body alignment. Um, and Mars has been misinterpreted for thousands of years, and he is now reclaiming his divine identity and the power to act from the heart. And when the male energy returns home to the feminine, unity is restored. And duality that has permeated this world for thousands of years will be no more. This is once this is achieved. And Mars is learning to switch from the warrior identity to the much more peaceful, heartfelt mode of right action. So let us also now have a look. Another look at the cosmic clock. This is also a visual that shows you that the cosmic clock, we also look at it as the four quadrants symbolizing our spiritual body, our mental body, emotional body, and physical body. And when we start a cycle at the 12 o'clock, something we process, something we move through the spiritual body and process something here. And it is when we come through the 3 o'clock portal, actually, and we move through this portal and into the first part of the mental body, that we actually, the first time that we become aware of something, that our higher self, he has kind of initiated, she has initiated, our higher light comes in, it's us, it's not separate from us, it comes in, we process something in our spiritual body, and then we first become aware of it in that 3 o'clock hour. And then also we process it or bring it forward through the mental body. Then back down at the 6 o'clock, we balance our heart and our mind, and we start actually consciously the upward spiral. We move through the emotional body, and then something becomes more tangible in the physical reality when we then move through the 9 o'clock portal into the physical body. And you can also think of, the 9 months of that a woman is pregnant and then something bursts into the physical. So this is another part of the cosmic clock design. And what we do with all of that is that we overlay it over astrology chart, of a birth chart. And what I am going to do is to show you the birth chart of the gift of the 13th octave. And the 13th octave was bestowed upon us on December 12th, 1997. I actually do not know if Linda was in Sedona at that time, but the guidance that I received was create the chart, look it up for Sedona, and look it up for 3 a.m. Linda always talks about her 3 a.m. wake up calls with the mother. So the guidance was look up Sedona 3 a.m. 12/12 1997, and you will have the divine design of the birth of the gift of the 13th octave. And my intention with that is to say, okay, this is actually the big game changer for us, and what makes this shift and evolution possible, because it means to embody the 13th octave allows us to unite with Mother, Father, One, without having to die, without having to leave our bodies behind. We can move through all time and spaces multidimensionally, collect our creator aspects and all other aspects, and really unify ourselves on Earth, become those really the fullness, the totality of our cosmic human selves on Earth without having to die. I mean, we still have to die on certain levels, but it's like we go through that in consciousness, um, purging things, clearing things, and but we do not actually have to leave our physical bodies behind in order to shift to unity heart consciousness. So I felt like looking at the birth chart and the cosmic clock of the 13th octave is something that also helps us to unify in our shared mission and purpose that we all have together. We as a community have all formed around the teachings of the Council of Love and the 13th octave. And so I think when we look at this and the cosmic clock and the cycles where we are in with the 13th octave, it helps us to understand what's actually going on right now and what to focus on, and gives us hopefully a sense of orientation and stability in these very tumultuous time energies, right? So I want to highlight, I cannot go through everything, of course, but I want to highlight a few things here. Because, and I hope it was all for you, you could all understand, experience the shift and tonality and frequency when I shared about this different story of Mars. And I say that because Mars is very important here in this chart. It's right at the bottom. Right at the bottom of the chart, the 6 o'clock with Neptune in the sign of Capricorn. And the 6 o'clock is the generically, the 6 o'clock is the Cancer hour, the first hour of our emotional body, and our power, emotional power, is about allowing the free flow of emotion, and emotion is actually, it's just energy in motion. So when you think of Mars archetype and the free flow, non-judgmental, loving flow of energy in motion, you really need, it points out that we really need this shift in perspective here so that we can really work with our own life force energy. You know, it's like when you think of Mars, you can also think of our really life force, Kundalini energy, and ability to take action and all of that. And when we have a kind of, destructive idea of what that energy within us is, then of course it's we do not have a pleasant experience of ourselves and of the world. So to me, this chart points really out that right here at the bottom, where we tend, and humanity, the collective, also tends to be the most unconscious, bring light into the depths and shift to this loving perspective. Neptune is all about our journey from illusion to enlightenment, and so much about has to do with taking away those false identities and revealing the truth and the beauty underneath that. Mars, who has been said to be born of Juno and a flower. And I even see that in this chart that there's some truth to it, or the Divine Mother telling us, yeah, that's a nice story that rings along the lines of love, because you have a trine, a manifestation of Mars here with at 55. Well, it's actually this the whole 6 o'clock, Mars and Neptune down here. Let me see. Where's the cursor? Where's my cursor? Here. And this planet, and it goes to Juno. Juno sits right here at the 0 degree of Libra, and the 0 degree is also always about the purity, restoring the meaning of that sign back all the way back to its purity. And then it goes also to to the moon here in Taurus, and Taurus in the new astrology and cosmic clock is all about the tree of life, and the moon, of course, it's I can't think of a better way to explain, the flower, the blossoming of a flower as moon in Taurus, and we have that here with Mars. So we have that, invitation to really to manifest this shift in perspective with regard to Mars. And let me see. And yeah, I also want to have a look with you together at the 12 o'clock, which is here. It is in general the 12 o'clock, our way of connecting with source. And let me see. We have the sign of Cancer here. That means that Cancer energy is the way, and Cancer is the sign of the moon. Cancer is the way in which we, or is the quality of energy that we apply in order to integrate the gift of the 13th octave. So, yay, happy full moon. To me, it's really, when I saw this, it was really a confirmation that what we're doing with the new moons and the full moons is in alignment with our plans and with the divine plan, and it is supposed to help with the integration of really in the full embodiment of that gift of the 13th octave. And there's one archetype in this 12 o'clock hour that is Varuna, and also in the sign of Cancer. And that tells us something about, also the way we receive and integrate the light of our higher consciousness through the moon cycles. And there's also Varuna. I'm going to tell you shortly about Varuna and what she is, but I also want to point out that we have a finger of God pointing at Varuna. It is these in green. It's pointing at Varuna. It's produced by Pluto, a planet of transformation, and Uranus, the higher, or really our higher mind in Aquarius, producing this finger of God pointing at Varuna, kind of saying, here, look at this divine gift and activate it and remove all blocks so that you can fully integrate and activate it. And this is the spiritual quality that then helps you move and integrate everything that the gift of the 13th octave has to offer to you through all of your bodies, all of your lower bodies, the spiritual, the mental, and everything. So I'm going to read about the Varuna archetype. Varuna represents the symbolic meaning or consciousness of water that flows throughout the universe. Very divine mother. Varuna relates to the evolution of the observer perspective. Varuna is the archetype of the perspective of source. Think of our fifth eye chakra, our ability to be able to see the world and ourselves with the eyes of the Divine Mother. So she is representing a higher vision of wholeness beyond the veils and illusions of separation, beyond time and space. And unless we work with an awakened consciousness, all Varuna can do is knock at the door from the awakened side. Varuna is there and named, and so whether we have ever heard of it or not, it exists and serves as a reflection that awaits our fully awakened consciousness. Varuna has a breadth of vision that is beyond what we are accustomed to. The symbol is also an eye. Well, my astrology system doesn't show it that way, but in others, it really is depicted the symbol of an eye. And her vision is bestowed from the highest observer's perch that is possible for us at this moment. And this perspective rises as our perspective does. And if we were to look at all of God's creation from this perspective, we would see the oneness of everything. God sees everything without separation or judgment. Everything is in God's eyes. So yeah, I think it's a reason why this birth chart and this, has this beautiful quality right there at the beginning, in our, spiritual power hour. These three, every body we have, what used to be in astrology the the cardinal mutual, cardinal fixed and mutual sign, mutable, I think. Well, it's all now power, love, and wisdom. It's like the reflection of the threefold flame of the heart. So this is in our spiritual power hour, and yoo-hoo, it's a good thing, I think. Um, a beautiful revelation, actually, of the beauty of the 13th octave.
Hmm.
So then I want to point out in one more thing with regard to the other finger of God here, pointing at Saturn in the 3 o'clock hour. And well, let me see, where is that part? No, I had it. Well, the finger of God is pointing at the 3 o'clock, and also because I talked about the cycles with regard to the 13th octave. It went through the clock twice. Well, it is like, you can say it is, it turned 27 last December, and it's going, we are now in, well, it moved 1 year, 1 hour a year, completed one big cycle on 12/12/2009, completed another full cycle 2021, and with every new cycle, there's a completion of one phase of integration, you can say, and then there comes the next. And we are currently just now have 12/12/2021, 22, 23, 24. On December 12th, 2024, there was a movement through this portal into the 3 o'clock hour. And there's a huge focus this year on everything that this represents. It's the Aries hour, the sign of the divine spark. And here we realize I am the light and I am awake. And we allow love in action. We allow love in to activate and fuel the higher mind. And I don't know if you also have heard Linda speak about, the power of the word, and how we shift from Badu to Sador, and to this really loving way of communication. Well, if we think of Saturn, ooh, my cursor, how things. Saturn being all about also structure, it makes me think of also what Linda said about the cities of light, and their energy is already there, and we have to find a way to structure that into form. And I want to highlight that Saturn here is in the sign of Aries, and Aries is the sign of Mars. So you have to think that Saturn is kind of, vibrating with that quality of consciousness that Mars represents. And so you also hopefully understand the importance of shifting of everything that we think of that energy that Mars represents inside of us, so that, everything vibrates at this frequency of love, so that everything that we hear and see is love, that everything that goes in and goes out is love, and that we adjust to adjust it, that we're using the adjuster, but also, by really making an effort to shift to a more loving perspective in our everyday lives, so that we can really activate that full potential. And I just want to quickly read about the cosmic consciousness perspective of Saturn, to also help us shift to really what that means. Um, Saturn disposes Capricorn, which cosmic consciousness describes as our connection to Source and the higher self. And Saturn has long represented the experience of authority, but all authority is ultimately inner authority. Saturn is known by many names, such as the great teacher, but also Lord of Karma or inner guru. And the classical archetype was one of restriction. And when we shift to the newer archetype of inner guru, we learn to face our fears with honesty and with an open heart. And we find the Father within, and life is never the same after that. We develop a loving relationship with our own authority, which leads to our authentic inner voice or gut instinct, which connects us to our higher self and provides impeccable guidance and direction. Conscious use of Saturn's energies guides us into self-worthiness and personal command. And as a result, the rules and the regulations we've made up to provide security and law and order and all of that can become obsolete when this shift happens. And as I said before, Saturn is also an archetype of structure and organization and social structure. And his cycles are known for producing social rites of passage every 29 and a half years. And we're coming to his first Saturn return here in like next year. So we are in this transitional phase also. And as we journey toward our awakening and oneness and unity really becomes our highest purpose, a lot is shifting with regard to our understanding of Saturn and that those energies inside of us. And from my perspective, I think it could be healthy to look at Saturn as really our capacity to structure our own higher versions of self into form and finding ways to express that and be the living examples of what that is, and what is possible on New Earth. And by embodying that and by being those living examples, we of course radiate out something completely differently, and reality around us starts to self-correct in a way. And also, he is there in the mental power hour. And, you know, just as a reminder, it's really, we are in this shift from Badu to Sador, one could say. And it's really necessary, though, that what we create, that we really can create the highest potential of what we bring forth. And we have so much support right now every year by the transiting planets. Neptune is just really at the 0 degree of Aries, the full potential of really bringing this energy into form. And Saturn is currently still at the final degrees of Pisces, but he will also move into Aries. And I think this is really, you know, think of it like really the energies of the cities of light and of our newer self. It's already there, and we come to this capacity to structure that into form and to express that and to bring that form force. And yeah, I just want to bring us shortly to the Libra full moon chart, or better, this is the Libra full moon chart, and this is the synastry. It shows still the 13th octave in the center, and we have all the planetary positions right now of today and of the full moon on the outer circle and those red planets. And that is what I want to show you is that we have Mars today right at the midheaven at the crown chakra. And this shift in consciousness of what Mars, or what we talked about regarding Mars, this has really the potential when this shift in consciousness sinks down from the crown into our roots, into the bottom. We are actually activating a whole new upward spiral and capacity to think loving thoughts, to see in more loving ways, and to adjust our senses to love. And also, the full moon is here right along the complete alignment with the horizontal axis, the you and me axis, where we interact with the world and where it highlights actually what I would say the even playing field, where we live and exist and co-create with our, also our own star being presence, level of consciousness on Earth. When we raise the frequency of Mars and this energy, and we raise it up in frequency, it comes closer to the horizontal. And I think this also represents, Neptune rising more to the surface here allows also for our star brothers and sisters to come closer and meet us here
Mm.
as a reflection. So it's about opening up and revealing the even playing field of this cosmic level consciousness being present on Earth, and we are, yeah, becoming more and more aware of it. Hopefully, also with this full moon
Right.
and the presentation. And I know it was long. What time is it? Woo, fast. But yeah, thank you everyone for listening.
Well, thank you, Simone, and thank you for sharing. Um,
I hope I don't. Any question? Did it make sense to you in a way,
uh,
guys?
does anyone have any comments? I know that to me, it's just amazing that it seems like anything that you see or look at on Earth or even in science and quantum physics, that everything is just truly showing us, and especially even as you have shown us astrology, that the shift is here, it's happening, and we're in the midst of it, and it is just it's of course so new. It's not anything that anyone has ever experienced on this planet, and but it's just interesting how the cosmic clock goes back to just this the circle and the center, and the like the solar cross of the circle and the cross and the center, and even correlates to the four directions and the elements, and of the medicine wheel, and so
Yeah.
yeah, it just makes a lot of sense. And to me, um, the science part of it, it's always fascinated me, because I just seem to always want to understand and know, and but it to me gives me something to be able to ground, into, to really make it real, and have that knowledge behind us to really ground into the truth, basically the truth of love, the truth of the shift and awakening and ascension. And
This is what happens to your body when you eat cheese. Watch this before eating.
so yeah, anyone else have any comments before we or questions? I just want to bring up that we're going to meet again.
Just a second. I just want to also say to everyone, like, for us, Tim and me, we didn't know what was happening when we started the new moon and full moon thing, but for me, looking at this birth chart of 13th octave was really a huge confirmation of that it is divine time. It reveals a lot also of divine time, and that the moon cycles and making them conscious and connect several dots and bring our human and divine and creator aspect and all of this together is really also divine time for us to do that. And with the sign of the moon at the midheaven there, it was really a huge confirmation that we go through this together. And the intention is also really to, by being the living examples, going through this as we go, and creating the plane while in flight, so to speak. We really also hope to kind of create a template for that for everyone else to maybe become aware of how this shift is happening and for all of us, and that it is really time to step forward and begin a new you and maybe something new, and it will all unfold. It's you take one step without knowing what the next is, but it will be revealed. And even though for us it is like we don't know, and sometimes it's scary or it makes us nervous, it really gets better and better every step of the way, and it takes away the fear, and we become more in alignment and in harmony, and do not freak out so much by all the changes and the craziness out there any longer. So this is also really our heartfelt intent. We want to, yeah, bring forth with this.
Yeah.
And we cry.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Simone. And
Thank you, Simone.
yeah.
Thank you. I have just one quick question. So if I understand, and I don't deem to understand the chart, so for this year, it seems there's like 3 alignments or 3 planetary alignments on the underneath the third, the 4th clock for 2025, as you showed us.
Let me go.
Just underneath the horizontal on the right side of the circle.
Let me go to. You mean to the this one here?
Yeah. These 3. So you mentioned that we are in this for the 2025. This is where
this is the main focus. Actually, like saying this is where we become. This is really the hour where we become aware of some really new high potentials available to us, and it is really in alignment with the current transits. And this is what I mean when I say there is divine timing for us to look at this birth chart right now, because it awakens us on some level even more to that potential right now. And also there's one thing, thank you for asking, that I want to point out, that Saturn and Neptune, they will be conjunct 0° Aries, this full pure potential of bringing forth a whole new you. They will both go into Aries, travel a little bit back with the retrograde phases and come back, and they will be conjunct at 0° on Valentine's Day next year, this universal love day when everything vibrates, and even more with the frequency of love, and these two coming together, holy moly, it's really it's a sign. It's just saying it's real. And we are in this year with our shared opportunity to grow together and embody more of the 13th octave in form. We have this focus here, but we also every month, so on December 12th, we move through this month, but the main focus is here to bring this to full alive, and we bring all the energies, we move this capacity. We moved until March 12th. We actually entered this also through the months, and now today we move into this hour a month later we move into this, but the main focus, the main goal, so to speak, is defined by this for the year 2025. Does this answer your question?
Yeah. I was like, okay, 2025, 3 things, and 2027, like 2 more. There's a way more there.
Those 3 planets here inside are actually more like, those are the archetypes that we work with in this year, which is Aries is the female inner awakener that awakens us to a new inner level of truth, and here's the keeper of the hearth, our sacred divine fire inside. But well, that really, it's very, we could go on and on a bit. Yeah, it is. It points out that here's a huge point of focus in showing us what is possible and what we are really doing this year with regard to embodying the 13th octave. What's available.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I know I just wanted to share something that really amazed me just this week. There's a man named Richard Comer, and he's written a book called The Lost Octave, and he's kind of speaking of the really ancient wisdom and astrology that has been there forever, that we're all a part of with the solar system and the planets. But anyway, he came out with this idea for this book, and it was just like a month later, and there was a scientific study, actually a real scientific study that came out that correlated the amino acids and the nucleotides in our DNA, and those 4 nucleotides, the 4 main adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine that, kind of comprise our DNA, which those nucleotides of our DNA are also directly related to the elements, earth, air, fire, water, that we are, made of. But the scientific study showed and proved there's a direct relationship between those elements, amino acids in our DNA, to the movements of the planets, and specifically the 4 that correlated to adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine, those 4 nucleotides related to the movements and the positioning and energies from Mars, Venus, Mercury, and Neptune. And it's just like I said, it's amazing to me what science is learning now, because it just grounds so much truth, as above, so below, and everything is interconnected, everything is connected, and it's connected in what now they're calling plasma the 4th state of water, but the original pre-matter state of water is, there's earth, fire, or water, gas, liquid water, gas, and plasma. But they're finding this plasma just like this background energy that we speak of as love, as the mother's love. I mean, it's this glue, the background energy, and so it's just really cool to see, the alignments in the charts, and like I said, the science of it, and how science and spirituality are coming together now, and it is just, there's no denying what a monumental time that we're living in.
Yeah, and this year is really, really amazing astrologically. Much of this is activated this year, of much of the planets in the gift of the 13th octave birth chart here I mean, it's all about the moon this year, or with a greater focus. And just to give one more example of this year, we had this full lunar eclipse, and usually a full total lunar eclipse only occurs every 2.5 years. And this year, it's very odd. We have 2 complete total lunar eclipses in 1 year, which is just odd. It just doesn't happen normally. And the other one is going to take place in September, and it's going to be exactly conjunct the north node and the south node of the moon right here in the 13th octave birth chart.
Wow.
It's really, can't make that stuff up.
Yeah. Right.
It's wow.
You want to come back out and stop sharing your screen and
Oh, of course.
yeah. But thank you so much, Simone, and thank you everyone for being here. Just a little bit to stay in touch. We are going to be doing an Earth Day celebration gathering. That's April 22nd. And so then again, a new moon on the 27th. But I do post the events on the Council of Love private group, Facebook group. So they will be there. And also, usually if we're doing something, there's in the Monday Council of Love newsletter, Linda will put it in the calendar. But you can also check out my website, bluediamondtribe.com. Very new to all of this. It's a first experience with anything like this, so I'm just beginning. But the posts for our gatherings will be in the blog post in the blog section, and then there's a contact us section that you can sign up and put your name and email address there, and we can keep in touch and send out events and that kind of thing. And replays will be posted on the Facebook group, Council of Love Facebook group, on the blog, Blue Diamond Tribe blog, and replays will be on YouTube also. So anyway, but thank you everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Bye.
Simone,
Thank you,
Tammy.
Tam. Thank you, Simone.
Thank you both.
Welcome.
See you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.